Welcome to LSB Feaster's Radio Aircheck and Classic TV channel.
Imus in the morning.
Here's Carl. Carl, how you doing?
I reckon I'm all right. I heard after March 29th, you're going to stop doing your show.
That's right.
Made me feel a mite sad. I ain't going to hear them classic catchphrases no more. Like, is your peaches fuzzy? And I was born at night, but not last night. And Deirdre, I went to bed again. I reckon this is what you call an end of an era. Millions of people are going to be left in the lurch, not having you part of their day, wondering if you don't feel well, because you won't be on the air telling them over and over and over again. I reckon when you're a morning radio host, you become part of people's lives, especially in the morning. They look at you like family, like them Mansons. I was worried about them that works for you, like that Rob and Tony and Lou. They's kind of in a pickle now. What they gonna do? Reckon Tony could go back to teaching. Lou could work as a DJ for weddings and bar mitzvahs and the like. But that fat fella Rob, after 30 years with you, he gonna have to go back to working the comedy hole in Cincinnati. Doing 12 shows a week going, you know, white people and black people, they're different. But what I'm most worried about is the duck. The one that quack every time you give it time. What's that duck gonna do? Affleck already done replaced Gilbert Gottfried. Disney and Looney Tunes already have their duck quota covered. Poor duck ain't got a lot of options. Wound up drunk and homeless, selling his feathers to my pillar to get by, lying on the sidewalk in the Bowery, wearing a sign around his neck says, "We'll quack quack for bread." Got a joke for ye.
Oh, good. I love this.
So this fella walked into his bedroom with a duck under his arm.
Yeah.
Wife is lying on the bed. Fella says, "This is the pig I've been having sex with." Wife says, "That's not a pig, it's a duck." Fella says, "I was talking to the duck."
Imus in the morning.
Well, Frank Rich is coming up. Noam said he's going to do the news. Bernie got a briefing. Said got sports. Final note on the Imus Morning program. The reason I said I wasn't going to talk about this, but there are a couple little loose ends need to be tied up. And March 29th, the Imus in the Morning program is going to end and not ever going to be another one. And because you have to do this out of respect for what I created with the program, with the help of many people, going back to Charles and Larry Kinney and Al Rosenberg and Flash Gordine and the people who are not even alive anymore, and the great Harry Tucker and people like that, and the great programmer John Lund and Pat Whitley and Bob Pittman and the late Kevin Matheny. I mean, there's a lot of people. But it'd be disrespectful to you. You invested, maybe since we started doing this. And it would be, I know this sounds pretentious, but it would be, in my view, sacrilegious for me to go try to do stop it. And you have to do this with some dignity. I mean, look at O'Reilly still trying to hang on with a stupid podcast or what the hell he's doing. Or Larry King. I mean, come on, man. That's just so tedious and tawdry. And this is no dignity? No, of course not. So, well, I'm talking about now. And I'm going to go to Bo Diddley's house. Because Bo said, "Where you been? Up at your house and gone again." I'm going over there. And you probably think, well, it's time, Imus, because it sounds to me like you've lost your mind. But I haven't. Anyway, something else I want to tell you, but I'll think of it. Right. A couple of months to think of it.
Relax.
Carl, I feel bad for you. You're going to have to get out of that ditch. Find another ditch.
Yes, sir.
Live in.
Dig me another one.
Yeah, that will.
Over there next to Howard Stern.
That's right. Hey, Bernie, what you got coming up?
I have a little more on this Megyn Kelly, Jane Fonda feud. Some audio that we didn't play earlier that's even maybe a little bit more vicious than what we played earlier.
The people in NBC can't be happy that she's turned the Today Show into this personal vehicle to settle scores, can they?
No, they cannot. And it's not only Jane Fonda; it is the people at NBC as well.
Yeah.
Because they had Jane Fonda on afterward. They're yucking it up, mocking her. At the mention of her name, they're laughing, cackling, actually.
Yeah.
And that was equally a shot at them as it was at Jane Fonda.
Very perceptive, Bernie.
That's what I'm saying, boss.
Yeah. Sid, what do you have?
Well, we've got a bunch of coach hirings in the NFL. A very famous coach gets fired in the NBA. And today,
What was that?
Jason Kidd gone in Milwaukee. And today we'll start
I don't like him.
You didn't like him?
No.
He did a good job in Brooklyn.
Did he beat up his wife or something?
He did do that once or twice, yeah.
Well, you sound like it's okay.
No, it's not okay.
No, it's not okay.
No.
What?
No, it's not. It's terrible.
He claimed he was liquored up, right?
He did say that, yeah.
And he was apologetic.
Jumana. No, it was bad. No question. It was bad. But he kept getting opportunities, but he did get fired. And we'll play Super Bowl trivia today, man. We'll do that a bunch of times over the next 2 weeks leading up to the big game between the Pats and Eagles in Minnesota.
Sweet.
We've got 5 Super Bowl trivia questions for the I-Man.
When do I get those?
Whenever you're ready.
Already now?
Oh, play the music.
No, we'll do the news, but later. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Come on.
Let's kick it off.
Play it. All right, I-Man, here we go.
right.
5 questions, first installment of Super Bowl trivia, leading up to the big game between the Patriots and Eagles in Minnesota.
Now, how many of these am I expected to get correct?
I'm going to say you're going to get 4 out of 5 right. The rest of your cast seems to think you'll get 2 at best.
Really?
We do.
I'm afraid so.
Say
All
what?
right, here we go.
Say what?
Here we go.
What is that?
What the hell?
do the math.
Are you
Back in Super Bowls 32 and 33, this great Denver Bronco quarterback engineered the Bronx to victories over the Green Bay Packers and Atlanta Falcons. Hall of Fame Denver Bronco quarterback, who are we looking for?
That'd be John Elway.
That would be John Elway. That's
who else?
exactly right. Thank you very
Jonathan,
much.
go, Johnny.
Thank you. Super Bowl 35. The scene was Tampa. The Baltimore Ravens picked off Giant quarterback Kerry Collins 5 times and blew out the Giants by a final score of 34-7. This man won the MVP for the Baltimore Ravens, although I would think he's probably happier about the fact that he was not found guilty.
Oh, Ray Lewis.
Yes!
There we go.
2 for 2.
Raymond,
Very good
that
start
was a
by
tough
the
one.
I-Man. That was not easy.
Nope.
This one is where the I-Man may have a tough time. Super Bowl 34, Atlanta, Georgia. What an exciting finish when the Titans wide receiver Kevin Dyson was tackled at the 1-yard line to preserve a 23-16 win for Kurt Warner and the Rams. Tragically, the man who started at quarterback for Tennessee in that game was murdered on his couch in his apartment in Tennessee just a couple of years later, him and his girlfriend. They say she did it. Who was the quarterback for the Titans in that Super Bowl who was found dead just a couple of years later?
I have no idea.
Rhymes with air.
Mick something.
No. Well, Mick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mick something that rhymes with air. How about that? Still not
The
registering?
McNair guy?
Yes, very good. Very good.
Steve McMahon.
Yeah, but
Hey, Titans for 500.
no, you can't count that.
That one doesn't count?
That's a miss.
What do you mean it's a miss?
That's a miss.
Super Bowl 47. The scene was New Orleans. Very, very exciting game. 49ers had a chance to win it late, but in the end, Joe Flacco and the Baltimore Ravens get a 34-31 win. But the Niners had the football inside the 10 on a 4th down with a chance to win this game when this controversial quarterback threw an incomplete pass on 4th down for the 49ers.
Is that Kaepernick?
Yeah!
Wow.
Oh, my!
Does not rhyme with air.
And last one.
Rhymes with dick.
Taking you all the way back to Super Bowl 25, Tampa the scene. Football Giants leading the Bills 20-19 at the end of regulation. Jim Kelly drove the Bills all the way down to set up an attempt to win the game with a field goal. But this Buffalo Bills kicker missed it, and instead Bill Parcells was carried off with his second Giant Super Bowl win, 20-19 in Super Bowl 25. Who are we looking for?
I don't know what the question is.
Who's the kicker that missed the
Who's
kick
the kicker?
for the Bills? Rhymes with Norwood.
I can't. I don't know.
McWarwood.
Norwood.
I'm not taking that.
Scott Norwood is the answer. Very good job, Norwood.
I got 3 out of 5.
Yes,
Okay.
very good. Very good.
All right, here's
It's a pass.
here is Noam with the news. Morning, Noam.
Good morning, Imus. The National Tsunami Center has canceled that tsunami warning we've been watching all morning that was triggered by a powerful earthquake off the coast of Alaska. Lots of people in school buildings, they were rushing them to high land and 400 or 500 in one elementary school in Kodiak, but now it looks like they'll be able to go back home. The stopgap measure that will keep the government open now until February 8th, signed by the president last night, but there'll be another budget battle just a couple weeks from now, so federal workers going back to work today. And scores of women and girls continue to step forward to confront Larry Nassar at the sports doctor sentencing in Michigan for sexually abusing young female gymnasts for years. Originally, fewer than 90 accusers were expected to give statements, but by yesterday, 140 had. Here was one of them from, you'll remember, Ali Raisman, remember the Olympic gold medalist.
I ask you to give Larry the strongest possible sentence, for by doing so, you will send a message to him and to other abusers that they cannot get away with their horrible crimes.
Yeah, so no surprise he'll spend the rest of his life behind bars.
Well, what did he do to him?
Well, it was he'd go to them because, you know, they're obviously with these gymnasts, so many parts of their bodies, things go wrong because they're
Sure.
And so he would do pelvic exams, but then unfortunately do a whole lot more during those pelvic exams. Yeah, so a real sicko.
Where's the death sentence when you need it?
Yeah, maybe a little jail justice. That would be great as well.
Well, man, he gets they put him in a regular prison population.
My guess is he probably gets protection, but maybe
Yeah.
the jail guards once in a while look the other way.
I'm sure they do.
That's the hope anyway.
Oh no, he's
The one accuser said that, or not accuser, victim said that the next time he sees a woman outside of the courtroom will be one of the guards beating him with a stick, with a baton.
Yeah, they should.
One of the female guards. Yeah.
yeah, he's
Doesn't sound so bad. If you're Larry Nassar, you'll take it.
Yeah, that could be that.
Sid, I'm concerned. Come on, baby. What else, Noam?
Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader, she had a Me Too moment years ago when she was a student at Cornell University.
What happened to her?
Well, here she describes a professor came on to her, said he would give her the answers to an exam in exchange, well, I guess for a little love.
I'm taking a chemistry course at Cornell, and my instructor said, I'll give you a practice exam. So he gave me a practice exam. The next day on the test is the practice exam, and I knew exactly what he wanted in return.
What did you do about the professor?
I went to his office and I said, how dare you do this?
You tell him,
baby.
Yeah, tell him, Grandma.
Meantime, she got a D.
Yeah.
Could have had an A.
Should have taken the exam.
Or the D.
After the hour.
Give me a practice exam and a pelvic exam.
Yeah, it's only practice.
No, it's just not amusing.
That Abe Lincoln was pretty grabby.
This is only practice.
Stop it, you guys.
Is that a stovepipe hot in your lap? Or you're just happy to see me?
Coming up at 18 after the hour, the Imus Wine program.